Right, guys, another beautiful Sunday morning and another beautiful day to do the Bet Out of Debt show. Guys, let's get right into it. Let's talk about a few things right off the bat. In our last episode last week, we talked about opening a brokerage account. And in opening up a brokerage account, we went into a lot of detail. And during that episode, we also talked about there is good training material on TD Ameritrade's website, and so that's good to hear. Is one thing to hear it; it's another thing to actually see it and witness it for yourself. So I wanted to step through that right off the top, and then we'll go through some other segments if that's okay with you guys.
Yes,
Absolutely.
All right,
yes, indeed.
super. So I'm going to share my desktop here. Let me share my desktop. Can you guys see my desktop?
I can see it.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right, perfect, perfect. So last week what we talked about was the TD Ameritrade, and we kind of discussed here opening a new account. So if you did not see that episode, you do not know how to open a brokerage account, and you do not know what a brokerage account is, you can go back and look at that episode from last week. And then you put your information in here to log in. This week, we'll talk about training and the material that's on site. So once you come to tdameritrade.com, you simply go to this section right here, videos. And TD has material here to show you how to buy stocks, the basics, and other material here. What is an ETF? Strategies around retirement planning and so forth. But this information, it is free. All of the information on TD Ameritrade website is free. Um, and this is only the basic stuff. To really get into the course material, you have to sign up and become a member, um, actually opening a brokerage account here. So if you do what we told you about last week and open an account and log in, you can go through their free training program. So I'm actually logged in here, um, actually into my daughter's account. And once you log in, this is the page you would see. And all you have to do is come to the educational tab at the top. And then, they have different topics in the educational center. Um, and so what I recommend is not even go to the overview. I recommend that you go directly to the stock section. So let's go there. And so now we're in the stock section. And so in the stock section, there are 4 courses that one can take to learn everything, the very basics of buying stock. And some would say it's even intermediate to advanced level concepts when it comes to stock. I think really um, people undersell the value of this information on TD Ameritrade. So again, to get a brokerage account with TD Ameritrade is absolutely free. You do not even have to fund the account with any money. You can literally sign up for free, get an account, and get this information. So then once you sign in to the stock section, the first course, um, how to buy, it's a 33-minute course. Um, let's see, actually that wasn't the first. The first is actually a 5-minute course. I was like, what's going on here? So it's a 4-minute course, Investing Basics. It tells you what a stock is. And then you have 33-minute, and then you have the big ones. So after you get the very basics, then you start going into the real course material, fundamental analysis, 3 hours. And so what's cool about TD is that you do not have to do the whole 3 hours at once. You can literally do portions, stop, and they have in-course testing and things of that nature. And then you can continue. I recommend you just take a Saturday morning and just do this. And then the following week, the last course is technical analysis, which is 4 hours. And maybe break that up over 2 days, a Saturday morning and a Sunday morning. But if you go through this basic 4 curriculum course, you would know everything that we're talking about here, and it's absolutely free. So I really wanted to kind of show just how nice and simple TD does it. Guys, let me know if this comes through the screen. You first get a kind of disclosure statement, and then you hit accept. Can you guys hear that volume?
Yes. Yes, I can hear.
Learning about investing is a lot like learning to ride a bike. At first, it may look intimidating or complicated. Dangers seem to be everywhere. That's why it's important to learn the basics and ways you can help minimize risk and protect yourself. After a good amount of practice and learning, you can take the training wheels off and really start riding. Along the way, the roads may change. There'll be good days and bad days. And while learning to ride doesn't guarantee you a spot in the Tour de France, riding a bike could get you where you want to go a little faster. Let's start with the basics and look at one of the most common investments, stocks. A stock represents partial ownership of a company. When you purchase a stock, you're buying a piece or a share of a company.
The volume is fairly low, though.
Is it fairly low?
It is.
So yeah, I don't have the right plug-in. Sorry. Thanks for letting me know that, Paul. So I just wanted to give an example of just the simplicity of, well, I wouldn't say simplicity, but just how easy it is to go through the training in TD Ameritrade, right? It's so laid out really well for the beginner investor. And, I have friends out there that say, what is an option? What is a put? What is a call? What is this? It's all laid out here for you for free. If you just go through what we talked about last week and just go through these 4 courses, I mean, literally, you can start making a lot of money. And so it just clicking into, let's say, after you do that, let's say if you go into the actual 3-hour course. So if you first, you do the investing basics in stocks, then you go to the 4 steps for beginners to buy stock. Those are fairly short courses and give you the background to actually go into the real analysis. How do you pick a stock? So the last 2 courses is about how do you analyze a particular company to pick the best stock so that your stock price appreciate and you make money. And so this is the meat here: fundamental analysis and technical analysis. That's what takes gambling out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people think when you buy stocks is gambling, but the fundamental analysis and technical analysis is why it's not gambling. It is analyzing a company to invest and grow your money. So just clicking into this, I'm clicking into the fundamental analysis so that you can actually see the course. This is the course breakdown: fundamental analysis, value investing, intrinsic value, investing plan, growth investing, and then they wrap up. And then if you go and look at the sub bullets, you can see the details, and there's a quiz after each segment. So you just literally go through all of this course material over the course of 3 hours. And gosh, you would know everything that we're talking about here. In some cases, you would know more because it's been a long time since I've been through this stuff. You can see that it says 0. This is my daughter's account. She hasn't done any of this stuff. She's getting her information from dad. But it would be a good idea for me to have her go through this stuff. But then let's go back and then just looking at the course for technical analysis to evaluate companies. And so again, you have the accept, and then here's the course material right here. Introduction to technical analysis, the basics, tool sets, investment plan, testing your plan. And again, after each one, they have a quiz and you go over all of the basic concepts. And I have been through this program. Let me tell you, I wish I would have done this right off the top, because they teach you some of everything, supply and demand, all kinds of concepts of top, double tops and double bottoms, head and shoulders, all of the things that the multi-billionaires use. So those guys use all types of this stuff. Is absolutely applicable. And again, it's all for free, guys. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. You literally, once you have an account, you literally go into education and go stocks, and the videos are right there. There's 4 courses. And then if you want to take it to the next level, and at some point you will want to take it to the next level, then you go into the options game. And so that's what Patrick talks about quite a bit. I talk about some is investing basics for options. So the 5-minute overview, and then how to trade, covered calls is like the beginning stages of options. And then trading options, 7-hour course, but it's going to teach you everything. And this is where you make the big money, but it's really risky if you do not know what you're doing. And then lastly, you have an additional course, weekly options, and then volatility, which is a big part of option trading. And that's it. And so that's everything you can learn on your own for free. I would say start out at stocks so that you understand the basics of the market, and then graduate up to options at some point where you feel comfortable. And if you like what you heard, hit us up, let us know, what you learned from this and your experience using TD Ameritrade's training platform. So that's kind of it for me, guys. What are your thoughts?
Thought it was excellent to even introduce to our following, our family that show up every week to gain insight, to not only play in the market, but to beat the market. I don't think that there's a better place that you can go than the TD Ameritrade, and by the way, get it for free. So we're excited to bring this to y'all this morning. Super, what do you want to add to that?
Yes, it seems very comprehensive as Troy was going through some of these topics. And even for the veteran trader who's been doing this for years, I think that, it's a good refresher in case you haven't applied various aspects of analyzing stocks or options or whatever the case may be. And I'm sure that site updates its courses to be, for to remain relevant.
Yeah, for sure. And there were things that I had forgotten, Patrick, where when I went back and looked at the course, and it was about a year ago, the last time I looked at it, I was like, wow, I forgot about that. Or, woo, this provides clarification on some concepts that, made more sense once I went through the course, when people talk about supply and demand and all of that. And it really goes into, Bollinger Bands in the course and the technical analysis, RSI. It goes over a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here. So it's really, really good stuff. So like what you heard, subscribe, like the video. It's good stuff. And Mr. Palms, we have you back. Let's spin off to what we were going to talk about last week, but we had some technical difficulties. So I know this week you wanted to give a DHF update on the month of March. So Mr. Palms, will you share with our audience?
Absolutely. Man, it is a blessing to be back and to be able to share with y'all again one of our opportunities, one of our plays that we want all of our family members and all of our followers to just win very, very big in this particular space. Let me ask real quickly, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So many of you know that's been following the channel for a while now, you know, that we have a crypto play. For those of you who want to park your crypto, particularly Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Tether USDT. This is a wonderful, wonderful platform for you to protect yourself while not experiencing any volatility. The description of it will be down in the link below. You'll be able to go in and sign up to DHF if you want to do that. But what more importantly, what I want to talk to you about today is that every month on this channel, we come in and we talk about the performance of DHF, and it speaks for itself. I want to go directly over to where my screen is. Can y'all see my cursor right there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now,
Nice
what this
profit.
means is to those of you who have never been able to get an opportunity to see our previous videos, I want to encourage you to go back and take a look at our previous videos in which we probably go into more descriptive information. But let me say this, DHF profits for the last month of March was 11.18%. That's beautiful. But if you would go back and look at some of our previous videos and segments, you'll find out that it's been as high as 15 to 16%. But I'm not complaining, and I'm sure you won't complain. And if you look over to the right, this particular account that I pulled from, this was the amount in which that individual made for that particular month. Now, I want to share something very, very quickly to those of you who are not familiar with DHF. The difference between that 11.18% and that 10.02% is dependent and contingent upon when you actually fund this account. If you fund the account in the first of the month, you will see a reflection of the 11.18%, because what's happening is you're giving DHF the opportunity to cycle all of it through for 30 days. So if you put it in on the 5th of the month, for example, you're not going to see the 11.18%. It's only going to be based upon the time frame that you put it in. So just a reminder, for those of you who've been loving this channel, loving DHF, I want to come back next week. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to show you the withdrawal process. For those of you who have never withdrawn out of DHF, but you have existing currency within the DHF platform, I want to show you how to take your money out. I'm going to discuss with you the best way to do that so there's no volatility and you don't get rejected when you go to pull it out. But I have something else that I want to share with you. Very, very interesting before I leave you and I move on to the next segment. That is, there's a crypto play that I want to offer to all of my family and friends that came onto the show. And here we go. The ticker symbol is, and I want you to write this down. The ticker symbol is N as in Nancy, D as in David, A as in Adam, and U as in United. I'll say it again. NDAU. For those of you who want to do a Google search, you will be able to go in and see exactly what this ticker symbol represents in the crypto space, what the projections are, and you will be able to go in. Now, here's what I want you to do, and I want you to write this down as well. I want you to ask the question for those of you who are curious about getting into this space, okay? I want you to put in, when you get there, how do I participate in this particular investment, in DAU? It's going to walk you through the process. It's going to be very, very simple for you. It's going to walk you through the process. I can tell you now, for those of you who know me, I have various friends in this particular space. I have a friend of mine who personally turned me on to this particular investment opportunity, who's already put in $25,000 in this particular investment. The projection is, y'all hear me close. The projection is in 3 years, that's supposed to be $15 million.
Wow.
Did y'all hear me? You ought to be as excited as I am, okay? Y'all are getting this firsthand news, but you can only get it on this particular channel. And so we're excited to bring you groundbreaking news. This is going to be absolutely phenomenal. For all of you investors that are in the crypto space, those of you who are already in it, do us a favor. Just put it in the description, I'm already in, and let us know how much you bought of this particular NDAU cryptocurrency that's supposed to go parabolic. I'm going in pretty heavy with it. And so we wanted to share as our family and all of our friends that come to the channel, we want to give you groundbreaking news. And so, Super, we turn it over to you.
Well, real quick, before we turn it over to Mr. Patrick, who we affectionately call Super P, because he is an super accountant. Palms, I had a question through the chat about H bar. Are you familiar with H bar? H, B as in Baker, A as in Alpha, R as in Romeo, H bar.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so not as familiar with that. Maybe I would have my esteemed fraternity brother and friend down in Miami come on a future show and talk about H bar. I'm here reading the chat. So, but Mr. Palms is our crypto expert. He is heavy in, the research and game on this subject, and he's a very big advocate of the crypto space. I know he has been talking cryptos for so long that we actually have a new dabbler in the crypto space. Patrick, are you now dabbling in crypto? Say
I am.
my stock brother. Say it ain't so, because we are like fundamentalist stock guys, and I know I'm pulling over to Ethereum. That's the one I'm kind of leaning towards. So, Patrick, please share.
Yeah, so I had, just some extra money at the end of the week, I guess you could say. And, a lot of people have been talking about this crypto stuff. So keep in mind, this is money that I can afford to lose. I'm not going to say how much I've invested, but this is money I can afford to lose. So I say, you know what? Let me give it a day in court, as I like to say. And I bought, what is it? The Bitcoin on Cash App. And then I downloaded Coinbase, where you could buy even more different types of cryptocurrency. So I think what I would do is, I'm up just a little bit, maybe 5% or so, or 2% from my purchases last week. I will continue to follow crypto very closely and maybe continue to dabble in it and see where it goes.
Okay. I'm reading the chat here. Shannon Allen said, "What's up? Used to live in Vancouver, British Columbia when you were there. hung out with Marv and company back in the day. So he said, "What's up, Super P?" A question, Mr. John Marshall Jones, who is also in the chat, that was on a past show a few weeks ago, is saying, "How do you sign up for DHF?"
Well, there's a down in the description below, there's a link that we've had in previous videos. And once again, I'm quite sure our phenomenal host, Mr. Troy Johnson, will have that down in the below description. But even more importantly, if you go back to previous videos in which we talked about it, he included it there as well. So, Mr. John, if you on the line, man, you can reach out to your boy personally, and we'll get you hooked up. So we're just excited, man, for those of you who took out the time to come and spend it with us. We're all family. We want you to have the information, and we'll make sure that you get the information.
Yeah, JJ, big ups, our first celebrity guest on the Bet Out of Debt show, and my first real nice investment up in Vancouver, British Columbia. We did a episode on that. So, okay, guys, so good stuff. Patrick, you are actually in the crypto space. I know John Marshall Jones. I know Shannon Allen. A few of my close friends and fraternity brothers are out there in that crypto space. I am about to go out there eventually. John Marshall Jones said, reach out to him, Palms, and I will give you his information. So let's spin off into our segment that tech is back. Super P, Mr. Patrick Doherty, take us away. If you would stop sharing your screen, Palms. Mr. Patrick Doherty, show us how tech is back.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me first go to the screen here. So when tech was falling from its peak in around February 16th and fell down to the bottom at around, March the 5th, the thing that was really spooking tech was the rise in interest rates. Now, why? Because interest rates between here and here were moving up fairly rapidly. Now, why were interest rates moving that quickly? It's that the reason interest rates were going so quickly is the economy had much stronger numbers. But any rise in interest, especially that quickly, tends to be competition to the market. And as you can see from the QQQ, this thing, tech really fell quite lower. However, as people started to realize that tech has, good, strong, long-term fundamentals and generally outperforms the other segments of the market, here it did a triple top here, which I call a reverse head and shoulders formation. And eventually it broke out from here to where we are right now. And this is the NASDAQ QQQ, which is a tech heavy indicator. These are the top tech stocks on the American stock exchanges. So as you can see, it's clearly broken out while interest rates have remained steadily high. I mean, you would think that, if interest rates have really spooked the market, these evil interest rates, tech would not rout, but indeed it has. And then again, tech is moving up because the economy is strengthening. And then I think that is indicative of the higher interest rates. These interest rates are not moving higher because inflation is high. It's because the economy is strengthening. and interest and inflation is still relatively calm. It's pretty much kept in check, and the our Federal Reserve chief, Mr. Powell, will make sure that interest rates and the economy do not go into an inflationary spiral upwards. And then I want to show you the SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF, one of the leading ones in the market. It too has followed the tech market. So here it's made a double bottom and is broken out at around 243, as you can see to the left. And right now it's almost at its all-time high, which is around 258. And then lastly, one of my favorite stocks, give me 1 second here.
It's over to the right. Yeah,
Yeah, there you
it
go.
is.
Yeah, it's just having problems getting to that. But anyways, as you can see, Nvidia, which is the leading chip maker in NVIDIA graphics cards, as well as cards that are used for Bitcoin mining. It's also a company that's a leader in data center and AI. This stock has fallen down with the rest of the market. Not sure if you can see this fairly clearly. I might have blown it up a little bit too
I
quickly.
see
But
a
anyways,
little symbol at the bottom. If you can X out, it says scratchers or something down in the
oh, I'm
bottom.
sorry. Yeah. So anyways, so as you can see, NVIDIA with the rest of the market, the tech space has completely broken down from a high of around 620 to 460 when the tech market bottomed out around the first week of March. But here again, it's just like the semiconductor SMH and the QQQs. It's formed a bottoming trend. Here is a double bottom, just like SMH formed a double bottom, and it's broken through this trend line at around 540, and it's moving higher towards 600. And I think it will break above that because the trend is very strong, as noted by the MACD indicator down here, and these lines have gone positive because they've gone above the midpoint. So this is why I think tech is back.
All right. Hey, good job there, Patrick. So a bunch of jargon, technical terms, all of that he said is very understandable. Just take the TD Ameritrade course and just the basics of stocks, that whole 4-course curriculum, and you would be really on top of the game for those who are just kind of really interested in building wealth like we are. So, guys, as we wrap up another Bet Out of Debt show, final thoughts before we wrap her up.
Yes, as always, family, it's good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming to the channel. Do us a huge favor. Man, go tell somebody on a Sunday morning to come hang out with us so they can get all of this good information. We're going to have a phenomenal time with or without you, but we do it better with you than we do it without you. Go tell somebody, go tell a friend, go tell a family member. We're the only people, we're the only brothers on YouTube doing it the way we do it. Come back and see us next week. We got something for you.
Palms are smooth, boy.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. And Palms, no one can say it better than you. As always, guys, we call this show Bet Out of Debt because when you place a trade, it's called placing a bet. And hopefully it's a winning one that would keep you out of debt. And as always, keep investing, and we will see you next time